Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will solve some of the important questions which are basically leading questions which are recently coming in CSWIP 3.1 exam. So our first question is preheating and options are given. Option A is derived by taking into account the CEV, hydrogen scale and material thickness. Option B is seldom considered if PW is to follow and when using a process with a high arc energy. Option C is A is correct but needs some more information. Option D is both A and B are correct but B requires more information. So what will be the correct answer? The correct answer of question 1 will be preheating is derived by taking into account the CEB. CEB is the carbon equivalent, hydrogen scale and material thickness. So basically this is given in CSWIP 3.1 book, and while explaining preheating I have explained this also in my preheating chapter of CSWIP. See what happens. Preheated heat temperature for steel structure or any pipe work are calculated by taking into account the carbon equivalent. So these factors are taken into account while calculating the preheating temperature: the carbon equivalent, the thickness of the material, and the arc energy or heat input of the welding process. So all these things are taken into account while calculating the preheat temperature. So option A is correct. Now question 1A. 1A is asking with reference to the previous question. Previous question means this question. With reference to the previous question, what is the main purpose of preheating? What is the main purpose of preheating? So friends, here my interpretation is like, in CSWIP 3.1 book, the main purpose which is written is to assist in removing hydrogen from the weld. See, basically the main purpose of preheating is to assist in removing the hydrogen from the weld. See, I have explained all these mechanisms in my CSWIP 3.1 video lecture series, so you can understand the mechanism of what is hydrogen embrittlement, how hydrogen gets trapped into the welding, and how it diffuses out from the welding. All these things I have explained in my CSWIP 3.1 video lectures, so you can watch those videos. Now for the time, the answer will be, see, the option C is the more accurate, I think. Option C is more accurate or more appropriate answer among all the four answers. See, in option A it is written that to remove moisture from inside the material. Basically we carry out hydrogen to delay the cooling rate so that the hydrogen atoms will have more time to move out from the weldment. That is the primary reason. However, if any moisture is there, that will also be removed during preheating, but that is not the main reason. Now to harden the material upon cooling, it is not like that. Upon cooling we are required, or we aim to not to harden but to make the material more brittle or soft. And the third one is to allow for faster cooling, that is C opposite of C, and C is to delay the cooling rate. So we are doing preheating to delay the cooling rate, and while delaying the cooling rate, the temperature of the weldment will remain up to the level so that the hydrogen atoms can be removed. Once the weldment will be cooled and it will come to the normal room temperature, hydrogens will not be able to come out from the welding, and that may cause hydrogen embrittlement, which is cracking, which leads to cracking. Hence we need to release the trapped atom from the welding, and that can be done by preheating. Now before moving forward, friends, I would request you to please join my channel. After subscribing my channel, you will see the join icon, and by paying a very small amount you can become a member of my channel and you can support my initiative financially. Now question number 2 is, RM is a term used to express the. Option A is yield point of a material. Option B is elastic point of a material. Option C is elongation of a material. Option D is maximum load applied. So basically while carrying out the tensile test of a material, these terms come. As per CC 3.1 book, these are like RM is used to denote the tensile strength. RM is used to denote the tensile strength. RE is used to denote the yield strength and RP is used to denote the proof stress. See, there will be 2 points in yield strength. One will be the lower yield point, that is REL, and the second one will be the higher yield point, that is REH. And RM is the tensile strength, means this is the maximum load which a material will withstand before breaking. So this is the tensile strength. Now coming back to the question. The options are yield point, slashing, maximum. See, among the four options, the most appropriate seems to be the point 2. Basically, RM is the tensile strength, and at the tensile strength, what happens? Maximum load is being applied on the material before failure. After this, the failure will happen. Hence, before failure, the maximum load which will be applied, that is called as ultimate tensile strength or tensile stress, and it is denoted by RM. So option D is the correct answer. Now question number 2A. With reference to the previous question, which of the following abbreviations and explanation is correct? So this is very simple question, and the answer is A, percent elongation. See, percent elongation is denoted by A. Obvious, means it is mostly denoted by small a, or it can be denoted by a capital A also. So A percentage elongation is denoted by percentage elongation. Now option B is wrong. Why? Because RE here it is written ultimate strength, but RE is yield strength and RM is ultimate tensile strength. So here these two are wrong, and H2 hold point is also not correct. So option A is the correct answer. Now again I would request you to please join my channel if you have not joined it yet. See, joining amount is very low. Anybody can afford, and your small your small support will be a very big contribution for me. So please join my channel. Now question number 3. EN ISO 1011. Option A is may be referenced for preheat temperatures. Option B may be used for the approval of a WPS. Option C is may be used for the approval of a welder. And option D is may be used for visual inspection requirements of fusion welds. So while explaining the preheat chapter, heat treatment chapter, I have explained about this also. EN ISO 1011 will be used, can be used for taking out the preheat temperatures, means for referring the preheat temperature, this EN ISO 1011 can be used. See here, BS EN 1011 code is there, and its name is like recommendations for welding of metallic materials for guidance on selection of preheat temperature ranges based on CEV material thickness and arc energy input and the lowest level of diffusible hydrogen required. So option A is the correct answer. Now question number 3 is with reference to the previous question, and the options given, these four options, which of the following is not concerned with the approval of welders? Okay, options given means the below options, previous question and the below options, these four options you have to consider. And after considering or reading this these codes or these standards, you have to identify which among these standards is not used or not concerned for the welder approval of welders. So SME section I is a very popular standard, and it is used for WPS PQR as well as for welder qualifications. Hence this is not the right answer because it is concerned with welder approval also. These two standards are also somewhat referred or somewhat referenced for welder approval. The correct answer is option C, that is BS EN ISO 15613. See, BS EN ISO 15613 is used for qualification of PQR and WPS, but it does not talk about welder approval. Hence BS EN ISO 15614 is the correct answer. The other options are somewhat related to welder approval or welder qualification. Now question number 4. Is it necessary for a welding inspector to check the correctness of polarity during welding? So this is a very basic question, and the answer is straightforward yes. As a welding inspector, you should check the polarity of the during welding. So option D, that is yes, it should be checked by the welding inspector is the correct answer. Now question number 4A. With reference to the previous question, what is the affected by polarity? means among the four options, what will be the most affected by the polarity? Option A is level of porosity, option B is poor start stop, option C is deposition rate, and option D is level of underfill. Friends, the correct answer is deposition rate. Deposition rate will be most affected by the polarity. See what happens, there are two types of polarity, DCEN and DCEP. I have explained polarity in a very separate video, so you can refer that video from the playlist where I have explained what is DCEN and what is DCEP. DCEN is direct current electrode negative, means electrode will be connected with the negative terminal of the welding machine, and DCEP is the direct current electrode positive, means electrode will be connected with the positive terminal of the welding machine. So most of the welding processes are carried out with DCEN polarity. Electrode will remain. Most of the welding processes are carried out by DCEN, means electrode will be carried with the positive terminal, and workpiece will be connected with the negative terminal. However, in TIG welding, the DCEN polarity is used. Maybe I have said something wrong. Let me repeat that in most of the welding processes, DCEP polarity is used. Like in GMAW, SMAW, most of the welding processes, DCEP is used. In DCEP, electrode remains positive and workpiece remains negative. See what happens if electrode is in positive terminal, is connected with the positive terminal, then more heat will be distributed on the tip of the electrode. So that will help in melting the electrode as well as the workpiece and getting the weldment. However, in TIG welding or plasma arc welding, the electrode is connected with the negative terminal of the work machine. Why? Because in DCEN, in TIG welding, the electrode is a non-consumable electrode, that is tungsten electrode, which is only required to produce the arc. It should not melt. Hence, if the more heat will be distributed on the tip of the electrode will also be melted, which is not required. So that is why in TIG welding, DCEN polarity is used, and in other welding like SMAW, GMAW, this DCEP polarity is mostly used. So friends, we have come to an end, but before concluding the video, I would once again request you to please join my channel if you have not done it yet. Amount is very minimal, very small amount, anybody can afford. So it is less than 100 if you just want to support my initiative. So friends, this is just a request that you please support my initiative. And with this, we have come to an end of our today's video. Thank you very much.